Denial versus confession. This is the J.R. Hendrick, Texan Gentleman podcast that deals with the early life of my alter ego, J.R. Hendrick. This episode is in a narrated format, commentary by myself and J.R. Relax and enjoy the adventure. Take care. God bless. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're in order to try to keep our numbers up, I decided we're going to go ahead and toy between the regular narrated that we originally did and the narration plus commentary, which this episode I think it's kind of necessary because it's more than just a chronicle. It's the principle. So here we go. Also, another housekeeping note: I am doing this podcast on a new phone, and I'm learning a lot once again. So please bear with me. Bear with me as I learn some things, grow in things. Okay, so all right then. Now, here is what's up. We're at the 27th of April, 11 a.m. J.R. Texas Strategic Communications Management exam. Despite being humiliated by the debate, Mrs. Cho coaxes him to work on the test. I found out from a classmate a few days later that I have made an 81 on their test, the highest grade, and all everybody else was making C's and D's. I brought the average of the class up to 75. 1 p.m. Central. Lucinda took JR to meet Karen at the Catwalk Cafe. Well, Karen asked. I blew it. Totally crashed, JR cried. When we get a chance, away from Brad in D.C., I want to listen to that debate. I don't think so. After the debate, he played some pretty vulgar jokes on tape about citizenship. He's your major advisor. That means he's bound and determined. If you were in his class to debate him again, somehow. You're right. They don't need to hear this or see it. He's going to turn. He's going to turn on me for sure. And I'm not sure I can handle it. You can handle it, JR. You can have the future that you want to take. 3 p.m. Central. Lie in bed, feeling sorry for myself. I was annoyed when there was a knock at the door. Okay, so here comes an old character, and JR's like, who is it? And it's Charlie. And Charlie's in the way. He go and Charlie's go pissed. Let me in. So JR opens the door. He's kind of like, what the hell do you want? And you can't blame him for being angry. And so Charlie walks in, kind of put on I want to defend you. That creep Harmon. Let me tell you something. I know about that debate. He should apologize to you publicly for that. So, JR I stand up and face him like my daddy used to face me when I was a little kid. And you were kind of like, how in the hell do you know? And he said, I was there sleeping in the back of the classroom, trying not to peek at the pretty ladies. But Harmon, the stupid creep, first thing he does, and the class after introducing the course material for the day, he picks on you. And you told him to say, I don't want any more fighting over this. It's no sense to. So he's egging on. He's egging on saying, well, who taught you public affairs last semester? Maybe she or she knows more about censorship than that creep. And Gerald's like, look, Friedrich McKay. And so Charlie says, well, then let's go to Friedrich McKay and we can ask him to order for a public policy. He's all over the newspaper, on the campus TV, urging students to debate him. And you can't really blame me, Jared. And I was like, Charlie, just let this alone. And then Charlie's like, well, I'm just trying to make amends for lacing you a couple of months ago. I feel really, really bad. Life at the fraternity really sucks. And JR is like, all right, have a pizza dinner tonight with Larry Thurber and me here in my dorm room. You might as well join me. This is going to come become a three of us, but you're not moving in back in. No, he was not moving back in with me. 7 p.m. Central, with Dave Smith and Kevin McDonald studying at the library. JR, Charlie, and Larry Thurber are having a pizza in JR's living room. And Charlie's like, well, don't you think that Harmon should apologize to JR? I've known this guy from prep school. He's porn and he's apologized. And JR's like, man, let this go. I can't do this anymore. And Larry said, I believe we should. And Larry said this, in defense of Charlie. He says, but I don't believe he will. He's chairman of the Democratic Party in Lubbock. I'm only a minor in public affairs. I've taken some of the courses that JR has. Is taking this semester. If JR doesn't want to do it, let it go. And J-Dollar, he's like, leave it alone, Charlie. We can talk to Friedrich McKay. Tell him that you got banged up. A banged up knee and a wounded heart. He might empathize. Go to harm and demand an apology. And Larry Forever said, look, it's the exact same thing a liberal would do. JR's father wouldn't want an apology. So that's the thing. Okay, it's 9 o'clock that night. And JR is sitting, he's studying some previous notes in constitutional law when Kevin walks in. And he said, sounds like you had quite a party here. Kevin said, and JR says, yeah, Charlie, Nation, and Larry Thurber. And Kevin said, avoid Charlie. Creepy loser is a bad smelly horse. So, April 28th, 1:30 a.m. Eastern. And now, while everybody else has gone to bed, Jim had tried to sleep, but sleep did not come. So he opened up the front door of the mansion and walked out past the driveway and parking garage, facing towards the front of the house, where a hill led to the Chesapeake Bayside at Chevy Chase. The resplendent, brilliant day shining in the moon was mesmerizing to Jim. Today he would be working on block grant policies for states. Federal states programs was what he wanted to do. Wouldn't you say? He's happy about his little office. He may be director of policy and liaison, but at the same time, he's going to be, Clinton had put him in as administrator of the Entrepreneurial Affairs Agency. And this was to be a temporary small arm of the SBA. Basically a polite way to try to get rid of him. 2 a.m. Eastern, in the Dream Team Lounge of the mansion, Jim is very angry. He feels like, with Clinton's press conference yesterday, that conservative Democrats and Republicans are being shut out. All except for Senator Cordell Wheeler, who seemed to be in Clinton's back pocket. So today, Jim left a message to ask his secretary to call and get an interview on the Blake Carter TV show, which would air on the Sunday special. 7 a.m. Central. Breakfast burritos were for breakfast. And so JR, he's at the Holy Spirit Club. He takes his tray and sits down with Tim Newcastle. Well, I start my internship back home this summer. And my daddy set me up with the firm Timms and Babs. Tim said, I have an interesting internship this summer. And Jared's like, I got an interesting internship this summer. And so Tim says, under your daddy. And Jared says, no. American Conservative Union. Traveling internship. Legislative affairs. And he says, Tim says, I think, sometimes you and Stoney are gluttons for punishment. Only he's studying corporate public affairs along with an MBA. And he's entering law school here in the fall of 96. And Jared's like, well, Daddy wants me to go to law school. I got it set up to go to Ascension University in Arlington to take the LSAT on June 12th. Okay, so it's 8 a.m. And the sun had been out, but now it was starting to have a thunderstorm. JR is studying in his dorm suite living room when some banging comes to the door, the dorm door. It's Charlie Nation. I gotta say, I was really annoyed again. I asked him, what the hell do you want? And Charlie, he's like in an old room. Be kind and let me in, please. Balancing what you did before, I'm surprised they even let you in at all. I want you to know, in an hour, I'm marching down to the office of Friedrich McKay. Persuade him to demand that Harmon apologize. And you lose your temper. You're like, damn it, Charlie, leave me alone. And don't set up a hornet's nest. And don't go to Harmon's office either, demanding an apology. She'll debate you too. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough. And Charlie says, okay. But don't say I wasn't trying. I won't try. Now I got to go get ready to go bed a girl. Okay. Charlie calls in there and Dave Smith comes out of his room. Why the hell was he here? And Jared's like, they said the same thing, giving an apology, and with Harmon wanting to demand an apology. That does it. I'm taking you out to lunch today, Kentucky Belle. Now, in the alternate universe, Kentucky Belle, it's two restaurants in one. They serve Kentucky Fried Chicken, all the home fixings, and they serve Mexican food. It's a combination of Kentucky Fried Chicken and Taco Bell. Okay, 1 p.m. Eastern. Betsy is meeting with Brad and Kristen Barton from Ruston, Louisiana, to persuade one of them to run against Senator Cordell Wheeler in 1998. Brad refused to run, preferring to stick to his own activism and advocacy campaigns. Kristen took the challenge, wanting to be an independent senator from Louisiana, the second female senator in Louisiana. The problem is, Kristen said, my father ran for the Senate in 1980 as part of the Reagan moral majority. Wheeler definitely defeated him in 1986 because he said he was a new Democrat, a conservative Democrat. But 2 months in the office, he announced he was a centrist. Let me tell you something. My mama, she started her tea, and that's what she said. My mama once told, and she says this, my daddy once told me that politics isn't about the party. It's about the people. She said, I only support the people. Okay, so it's 1 p.m. and at Kentucky Bell, Dave Smith talks to JR. Alright, now, JR, tell me what the hell is going on. And JR's like, I was like, I got defeated in that debate. Harmon mopped the floor of me for all to see. And Charlie is out demanding an apology. Charlie, and Dave Smith, he's pretty angry. He's like, bypass nation. Look, I'll tell you what. Your mom gave me your address in D.C. I'm going to send you a video copy of the graduation. The dean told me this morning. The dean told me yesterday, I'm being selected for valedictorian. And Jerry, he says, I wish you well, Dave. Come by and see me sometime. I would love to hear from you when this semester is over. Okay, so 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Central. Texas Tech Orthopedics. After a set of x-rays, JR goes, okay, let's go ahead and say 2:30 p.m. JR goes into the examining room, and after seeing the resident for 10 minutes, Dr. Obed Ickes walks in and removes JR's bandage. Femur and patella connection. It's worth for the wear. I've seen the x-rays. That little small fracture worked well with electrotherapy. dynamic therapy on that bandage. Now, we'll keep him in light bandages like you would get in the store or pharmacy. He should be fine within a few days, Dr. Icky said. He's always free to come back if he feels any pain. But as far as I'm concerned, he's cleared. I remember I said, well, I do feel better today, Gerald said. And Kevin, he's like, he patted you on the shoulder. He said, I'm still keeping an eye on you. Kevin, now that we heard from the doc, let's go. Okay, we'll go. We'll go get you a haircut. Thank you. Good. And how about I take you grocery shopping? Looks like you need some things in that little fridge. Like chocolate, Cokes, orange juice, blueberry fig Newtons. The doctor spoke up. Peace out, you guys. Peace out. Come on, Kevin, let's go. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. At the Hendrick Mansion, Jim is in the Dream Team meeting. Currently being led by Dave Rosenberg. This morning, he had called CBNC, the CBNC's home counsel, Deborah Grayson, about settling a libel case for Betsy out of court. And the network refused to settle. The court case was set to begin in D.C. on August 29th. Subpoena the transcripts from these bastards, Jim said. Oh, that may be nice. But there's the problem. You see, Dwight Eisenhower is on his way out. And he's not likely to be easy to be able to send the transcripts. Almost given by a serious threat. Hold up, Grace Arthur said. We all are here aware of the Freedom of Information Act. The network is scared of releasing that material, but we can find a federal judge from Memphis, Tennessee, to answer the subpoena. Order it. On May the 26th, Mama went before the judge on the 13th federal district with her lawyer, Bethany Malcolm, to ask for the subpoena. The judge granted and immediately subpoenaed for the transcript. On May 30th, the transcript of the program came to the mansion by courier. 4:05 p.m. Central. Back at the dorm, JR is on Kevin McDonald's bed as he looks at the bandage and changes it. I tell you what, it's almost better, Kevin said. I tell you what, we need to keep Charlie from hanging around here anymore, Dave said. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It's Aunt Donna. Jerry, your Uncle Carl found out what happened on campus yesterday. He wants me to pick you up. We're having your favorite tonight, spaghetti, Donna said. Dressing quickly, with the help of Kevin and some nicer attire, I walked out of the room and followed Aunt Donna to her car. I was glad to be off campus for a while and with family. 7 p.m. Dinner that night was spaghetti with plenty of garlic and garlic toast, along with a green salad. Present was Aunt Donna, myself, Max, and a friend of Max's named Gordon. Also present was Grandma Mary. I'm sorry. Uncle Carl had to work late. But with your parents away in D.C., somebody in the family has to keep an eye on you, Donna said. You know, Junior, I raised your daddy better than that. I remember he came home to Midland after several weeks in school up there in Dallas, and it was almost like he was a complete rebel. I caught him drinking beer, and that is a sin in the Assemblies of Christ. Why, he wrecked his car that Aunt Esther and Uncle Jim bought for him, and he went and bought this. It was a picture of a 1950s motorcycle. Yeah, I remember I told Grandma that Mama said when I was a kid that even though her daddy lived that down, said that was a stupid and rebellious and likely to get himself or others killed. Sitting in the pattern just like his daddy, which made him mad and storm off. And Grandma Marie says, and Donna says, I remember Mr. Swain didn't like it. And didn't like your daddy much. Hold up. Hold up, Grandma, let me get this straight. He goes into college in 2 weeks. Into college. Hold up, Grandma, Max said. Let me get this straight. He goes into college. In 2 weeks, Uncle Jim wrecks his first car he had for 3 years and tolls it. And then he got a motorcycle. And that's where he used to court Aunt Betsy. Yes. And when he started wildcatting, Junior, Uncle Carl said he would not get no woman unless he changed So he got himself a Dodge Plymouth. Nice one. Blue. For everybody to go around when they weren't on the bus. Now look at him. Power games, and it's always under the gun, JR said. I tried to raise him right, Grandma Mary said. When your grandpa came back home from the home, he was the disciplinarian and set the rules. Church on Sunday. Prayer before meals. Topics of discussion at the dinner table. Even at a restaurant. I mean, he had some help from dear Grandpa. But the fact of the matter is, there were some times when he just didn't seem to care. At least I know the truth about Grandpa. He didn't leave because he was a coward. He realized he had to leave because you two no longer had the same fire and desire for each other to keep the family together. I'm sorry, Junior, but you have to be the standard bearer. Hold the family together. It's pretty interesting. JR, I don't know if you remember this. In the 1990s, in Christianity, the concept of standard bearer was pretty well known. Yes, it was. You go to places like Promise Keepers, home group Bible studies, even Christian singers at the time were talking about it. Yeah, okay, the last day, the 28th, 1 a.m. Eastern, it's the 29th, Jim wakes up and has the night servant, Abner, bring him a cup of coffee to the upstairs lounge outside what would be JR's makeshift office this semester. Yesterday, Jim had an interesting an interview for the Blake Carter Show. They would air at 3 p.m. on Sunday, excoriating the Clinton administration on their failure to work with small business. Jim pledged to keep holding the Clinton administration's feet to the fire. Today was a simple day for him. Gordon Deckard, his oil giant friend, who he met back in the 1980s, who was one of the ones involved in the United Development in Bottomless Lake, who was castigated before Congress, was going to play golf with Jim in the morning. After that, he was going to have lunch with the family. Tom, Jim's brother-in-law, would be flying into D.C. from El Paso today with Jim's nephew, Hannon, who would be tutored for school in D.C. until Tom, Diane, and Elizabeth would fly back to El Paso and Elizabeth would return to D.C. on the 15th. 1:45 a.m. Eastern. Jim goes into the Dream Team meeting room. He realizes that he really needs the team. 3 a.m. Eastern. Sarge finds Jim fixing coffee in the Dream Team lounge upstairs. There's something wrong keeping you up. What is it? Isn't it? Sarge said. I got the notice from Mike Fields yesterday. There's an old love in Betsy's life that is on his way up to Washington, D.C. at some point, Jim said. I didn't think Aunt Betsy knew anybody but you. Let me steep this coffee. Sit down, Jim said. There were times in the early mid-70s, and some points in the upper 70s, that I was cold and hard and distant. Betsy grew annoyed and depressed, and so she come back to him, only for him to abuse her and hurt her again. Dude had a charisma complex of women. I guess he still does. Anyway, 21 years ago, Betsy got fed up with just sitting around as I worked the ball fields, and so she went to live with this guy. He gets her knocked up with Kyle. I take Kyle to raise as my own. No, Uncle Jim. Kyle is yours. I know. But the damn thing is, he's got his DNA. Older he gets, I see more of his daddy, John Dustin, in him. My concern is, he's going to come here and tear this family apart. JR and Christine will never forgive me and Betsy. Listen, Forever and I are going to church on Sunday. We'll work it out. We'll pray for you. I hope you can pray it out, because if something can happen, JR will be gone, traveling on this internship. Gone like a wisp of smoke. 9 a.m. Central. I remember Lucinda took me to the West Texas Assemblies of Honor breakfast at the First Assemblies of Christ, a men's parachurch organization for the Assemblies of Christ. The keynote speaker through the internet was the founder of Assemblies of Honor, Michael DeSantis. I was impressed how he became wealthy as a life coach back in 1985, and then got miserable and gave his life back to the Lord and formed this organization and coached them and blessed lives of men and women. But in this case, it's talking to men. with honesty and integrity, honor, trying to live the life of godliness within the assemblies of Christ.